Growing up in Brazil as a child was really wonderful for many reasons, one of which was having music around everywhere, basically. You went to a soccer game, you heard music. You know, you went to the beach, you heard music. You went to school, and there was something, always something that had music as part of whatever that you were doing. And from a very early age, music became a very integral part of my life. Although I must say, in all due honesty, that I didn't have any intentions or plans of becoming a musician when I was growing up until a certain point. So I was always very interested in the musical culture of people all over the world. I would really enjoy listening to music from Africa, from Asia, from all corners of South America, from North America. I just felt from the very beginning that this was really a truly universal language, a language that would go beyond the word, would go beyond culture, ethnicity. It just, you know, music just brings people together. Still without planning to become a musician, but I had decided to learn the guitar and the piano. I think I was about 9, rather late actually for a classical musician, and at that point obviously I got into the so-called classical repertoire. I mean, but if you want to be accurate, classical music is really between you know, Haydn, Mozart, and a young Beethoven, nothing before, nothing after. Electronic music became a very logical path for me to take because actually as a very young person, as a child, I was always fascinated with science and electronics and technology. In fact, I think that's what I wanted to do. I was more interested in doing scientific things. I'm here to talk about the Music Alchemy keyboard setup and about some of the instruments that are part of this setup. Especially this baby right here, it's called the Yamaha Electone EX42. I went to school at Berklee College of Music in Boston. I got a scholarship, and I was really in a hurry to finish my studies very fast. I was so eager to leave Boston and go to New York to really start working as a musician that I actually finished the whole thing in 2.5 years. All of a sudden, in New York, found myself in this house music scene. I was working as in a studio at the time called Prime Cuts Editing. It was on 1776 Broadway. I remember that very well, the building. And it so happened that this place was the hub for dance music in the late 80s, meaning that just about every DJ or remixer who had a #1 hit or who had a hit period was editing these records at Prime Cuts at that time. So it could be Frankie Knuckles, Junior Vasquez, David Morales, Freddie Bostone, Shep Pettibone, and one day Madonna walked in, the next day Belinda Carlisle walked in, the next day Yes was there, the next day Earth, Wind & Fire was there. So it was really amazing. Seven, 8 years ago, I was beginning to teach. I was beginning to give workshops and seminars, you know, kind of like basically sharing my experience. And it just really felt very good to be talking to younger people and sharing what you've done. I'm Miguel Kertsman, faculty recording arts at Flashpoint Academy. I'm a composer and record producer. I have written the music that we have recorded today. The goal was to afford the students an opportunity to work with a live ensemble, to get as close to an orchestra as possible. And in this case, we got the New Millennium Orchestra here from Chicago. We had a string section, basically string orchestra, and give them the opportunity to record acoustic instruments in the setting of a film. Well, it was about 1986, and I was flying from New York to Brazil. And I never sleep when I fly, very rarely, but this time I actually had a good night of sleep, and all of a sudden I woke up, and it was daybreak, it was dawning, and we were flying over the Amazon. And I just couldn't stop looking down and just completely, just being completely overwhelmed by that sight, you know, the sunrise and being up there and looking down and seeing this green carpet, this endless amount of life down there. And that really gave me the idea and the inspiration to write a piece about the rainforest. Then, of course, the whole issue of the use of the Amazon in a non-sustainable way, in a way that's just not very smart. I mean, that obviously played a role in writing the piece as well. So the piece is called a tone poem, a symphonic poem. O Saci is a character from Brazilian folklore, and it was my favorite character when I was a child growing up in Brazil. He's a prankster who lives in the forest and goes around scaring travelers and doing all kinds of naughty things. And I was fascinated by O Saci when I was a child, and I had always wanted to write a piece for children. So O Saci is a piece for children. It's a chamber music piece, which involves also dance and some acting, and I actually wrote it in a way that it can be very free. It could be staged as a ballet, it could be staged as a play, it could be staged as a pantomime. You know, want to give directors and producers a lot of freedom to stage the work. Cheers.